Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you guys are doing well as always, and I'm back with another video, and this time it's gonna be a deck guide video for Gold Paladin, aka Platina Ezel. And to me, Gold Paladin is one of the strongest deck out there, thanks to the new support that we got from set 8 in the JP server, and those support really bring Gold Paladin from tier 2 or even 3 to really tier 1 in my opinion. And because of that, we gotta do a deck guide video for that. So let's take a look at the deck list. A quick pause here, because before we take a look at the deck list, I do forget to mention something, and it's gonna be I just finished creating my July schedule for this YouTube channel, and you guys can take a look at what videos coming next. And as you can see, the next video is gonna be on Friday, and it's gonna be an unboxing video, and it's gonna be the first one ever on this channel. So it's pretty exciting for me, at least, and I do hope you guys can look forward to that. And also, it's gonna be a big one is because it's gonna be a carton of VEB14, and a carton equals to 24 boxes, and that really cost me quite a bit of money. And I really do hope you guys can support the series, otherwise I can't really keep my unboxing series going in the future. But on Friday when the video is out, I will definitely show you guys a few ways to further support the unboxing series. But for now, you can follow my Twitter account, because I do post Vanguard Zero related stuff, and also about me in general sometimes. And it's just good to follow me there, why not? And yeah, that's pretty much what I want to say, and let's head back to the video. Okay, so here's the list. As you can see, the starter we are going to be running is this, because it allows you to separate your Blond Ezel if you have the requirement cards. And that is going to be your 10k vanilla and your 8k vanilla. So let's start off with the grade 1. The grade 1 we got 4 PG, 1 Silver Fang Witch, which is on play so plus 2 you draw a card. I choose to run this instead of Dindrain just because I don't really want to afford to draw a Dindrain where I can't really utilize its skill efficiently. And by playing Silver Fang Witch, I can guarantee the draw even if I drew it in my hand, or even if I Superior Call it from my deck. Even though it's so plus 2, it's still good enough because I only won 1, and the 5k and 6k is not that much of a difference if you compare those two cards. And then next we got 4 8k Vanilla. 8k is pretty important because you can use this to separate your Blond Ezel, and also you can use this to make some magic in number column. Especially now there's a lot of 13k base Vanguard, you want to make a perfect 18k column to push for more damage. Next up we have 4 Self Damager, and as you know, Self Damager is super important in the Ezel deck, even back when Ezel just got released and it is just an Ezel deck by itself. Because Ezel really rely on his limit break, because it can just spawn out unit for free from your deck, and pretty much your field will just be full because Ezel's skill is just counter plus 1. It's super cheap if you ask me. Next up, for grade 2, we got the newer card, which is Blaster Blade Spirit, and this card is definitely one of the cards that pull Gold Paladin to tier 1 in my opinion, because last time when Ezel is out, we used to lack card effect that retire your opponent rear guard, and because of that, Ezel is kind of tier 2 because they can't really go for any aggression push. They are just good at maintaining their field, but that's it. But now they can maintain their field, their hand, and retire opponent rear guard, and this card is a must to run. And I choose to run 4 because it's super important, but some people choose to run 5 because you can run 4 spirits, which is the Blaster Blade spirits, and run 1 Blaster Dark Spirit. But I personally don't think I have the space for it. That is why I only run 4. Next up, we have 3 Counter Charge for Gold Paladin, and this is super important because Gold Paladin have a lot of cards that use Counter Blast, and in my opinion, it's super Counter Blast heavy. As you can see, our Spirit use Counter Blast, our Ezel use Counter Blast, and our Platina use Counter Blast. And if you want to use Spirit successfully, it's a total Counter Blast 2 because you Counter Blast 1 using Ezel, and then you Counter Blast 1 using Spirit. So there's 2 Counter Blasts in total. So I really want to run 4, but I really don't have the space, so 3 is good enough. Next up, we have 4 Bowman. Needless to say, 10k vanilla is great. And next, we have 2 Self Damager. Like I said, Self Damager is super important in Gold Paladin. You do want to run a fair amount of it in your deck, and I have total of 6 Self Damager. Next up, we have our Ezel. Ezel is a must because your main right is going to be Ezel, your first Vanguard is going to be Ezel, and your key card is Ezel. Believe it or not, Ezel is the card that will bring you victory and not Platina Ezel. Platina Ezel is more of a card where you want to use it when the times is right, but most of the time you'll be using your Ezel as your winning card. Next up, we have one Choke Attacker. It's just one off. You can play Choke Attacker or the 13k Attacker when it got boost. It's up to you, but I personally like Choke Attacker just because you can attack without boost. And if you notice, I play Stand because I feel like Stand work really well in a Platina Ezel deck. And to me, I just feel Stand is way better than Creep in my opinion. And because of that, I can attack without boost with the Choke Attacker, and the Stand really will come in clutch later on. Next up, we have 4 Platina Ezel, and the skill is Ultimate Break 4, not 4, Ultimate Break 5, cover plus 1, your whole board gain 5000, which is your rear guard, doesn't include itself, and also you gain a crit. And then of course, if you have a Blond Ezel in the soul, you can use this on Limit Break 4 instead of 5, so that's pretty good. And for the next one, it's going to be pretty surprising for most people because I feel like this is a really good addition in the Platina Ezel deck. It is going to be Chrome Jailer Dragon, and you run 4 copy because this will be your backup right, because your first right is going to be Ezel, but what if you miss your Ezel? You can go for your Chrome Jailer right, because you never, ever want to write your Platina Ezel as your first Vanguard, because it's going to be Limit Break 5 and it's going to be awkward. And you can't really superior call anything if this is your Vanguard. So this is the card that you want to write for a final turn play, or if you have a full board and a good amount of hand size and you have already sustained good amount of tempo in general. So this is the card you want to go for. Otherwise, you absolutely do not want to write this as your first Vanguard. And as I was saying, Chrome Jailer is really good because, like I say, this deck uses a lot of Counter Blast, and when you finish Counter Blast, you can't do anything. But with Chrome Jailer, you can, because Chrome Jailer's skill doesn't require any Counter Blast. Both of his skill, no Counter Blast needed. The first one is Limit Break 4. You retire 2 of your rear guard, and this unit gain 10,000 and a crit. The second skill is Persona Blast, and you superior call 2 cards from the top 4 cards of your deck. And this also allows you to superior call your Spirit if you only have 1 Counter Blast left for your Ezel. And yeah, so this pretty much sums up my list. Pretty simple how you win with this deck. You just want to write your Ezel as your first card, and then rely on your Spirit on the late game. And also, if you notice, I only run 4 Stand because Stand is a card that you want to get in your late game, not the early game, and that is why you run less copy than the most copy trigger you want to run, because the most copy of trigger you want to run is the trigger that you want to get in the early game, which is draw trigger, because draw trigger is still important in this deck because you want to draw your PG. Otherwise, if you don't have PG, you're just going to lose to decks like Gory Maelstrom or even a mirror match where they run crits. So enough talking, let's head into some ranked gameplay first, shall we? Okay, look like our first opponent is gonna be a Neo Nectar, which is a clan that you don't see often, even though they are quite new because they just got their support, which is Musketeer and Arboros in general. And obviously you want to throw your Platina Ezel Black to the deck, because like I said, you don't want to write it as your first Vanguard, and obviously you want your Spirit to be in your deck, so definitely throw back into your deck, and I guess this should be a fine mulligan. And look what is back. We threw a Spirit and a Platina back, and we just got it back. It's okay, it's okay. As long as we top deck our AK Vanilla, or even our Ezel, it will be good. I choose to write Silver Fang Witch because PG is really important, and I can't really use my Silver Fang Witch until I go to grade 3, so don't really want to wait till then. And I feel like PG is more valuable against a pro deck because they can make huge number on their rearguard column, and most of the time they play Stand Trigger. That is why PG is super important. Okay, he write PG, that's good, because if we're gonna write Platina Ezel, that means we have to make sure that he don't have any PG in his hand so that we can hit through using our Vanguard with 2 crits successfully. And here he read a heal, pretty sad to see, but it's all good. And here we get a draw because we run 5, and because we run 5, the odds of us checking draw compared to Stand is higher, so that's good to see. Can we get our AK Vanilla here? We didn't, but we did top deck our Ezel. And since we can't go for our Superior right, you are going to be running a Spirit because your Spirit have another skill, which is if it's on the rear guard, when this unit battle. Okay, how should I explain this? When your opponent unit attack this, it will get retired by the end of the battle. So even though it's a 10k attacker, your opponent doesn't need 10k attacker to retire your Blaster Blade Spirit. And here, let me see, I kind of want to rush, at the same time I don't because I want to set up my Ezel skill. So I'm gonna hold off with my Great Tools. And if he push us to 2 damage, or 3, and if we top deck a self damager, we can use Limit Break, which is the Ezel skill, and you can see another PG gone for our opponent. Pretty sad to see for him. And here comes his Great 2 Aberos. And obviously he want to call it on the back row so that he can call 2 tanky vanillas next turn when he rides his Sephiroth Dragon. And we rip a stand, which is fine. Situation like this happen all the time. You want your stand to be in your deck in the late game, so it doesn't really matter if you wasted 1 or 2. Okay, that is the second copy, but it's all good, it's all good. Even with 1 or 2 copy, if you check it on the right time, you can still win the game. And thanks to Ezel's skill, you can thin your deck quite efficiently, and because of that, your chance of checking your trigger is going to be higher. So I'm going to call 1 Bowman. I'm not going to call 2 Interceptor because I want the Limit Break next turn. But here, let me think. I actually think I will call... I'll Flipper down. But I'm going to move it to the back row because I don't want it to get hit next turn, and by doing so I can make a perfect 19k column in case if he get a defensive trigger, I can make sure that I hit through his Vanguard and push him to 3 damage. Okay, no trigger, that's fine. We don't really need any trigger right now. What we need is Ezel skill to Limit Break and call a bunch of Rearguard from our deck to our Rearguard circle. Okay, here it comes. Sephiroth Dragon with no animation. Okay, that's interesting. There's no animation for that. And wait, he can Superior Core this, which is weird. I thought he can. I think he needs a Great One for Soul. Not too sure. Never played this deck before, so. And he chose to go for the slow approach, which I like because he do not want to give me my Limit Break. And that's why Self Damager is so important. And I run 6, and I'm hoping to draw into 1 this turn. Otherwise, it's not going to be too good. Okay, we didn't draw into 1, but it's okay. So here, I'm not going to go for the cross strike because there's no point. You want to stay on your Ezel till you have a pretty substantial board and a substantial hand before you go for your plat. Because if you go for your plat, you can't Superior Core anything else. So I'm going to call my Bowman. And here I'm thinking, should I push him to 5? And I think it's okay to push him to 5. So I'm going for it. Even though I can't heal if I check heal, but it's all good. And maybe I should call 1 more unit here to make a perfect 21k column, but I don't really want to call Grade 3 or Grade 2. So I'm taking the risk here, and also I didn't have checked any trigger on my last twin drive, so the odds of me checking trigger here is pretty high as well. Although I don't really want to check stand unless it's double trigger. Okay, heal, like I said, kind of the punish if we go for this play if we check heal, but sadly I give the power to the wrong play. Luckily we didn't get punished. So something to take note is, because most of the time I'm playing deck that don't run stand, so you need to take quite some time to get used to stand. And make sure you give the power to the right units. Okay, so Superior Core 2, Nightcat Attacker, but he can't attack anything though. Alright, totally forget about Abero's skill. Okay. So as you can see, he's at 5. That means there's no reason to ride our Platina Ezel. Instead, if we stay in our Ezel, we can Superior ride our Spirit and potentially retire 1 of his Interceptor, and by doing so, he will need an extra PG, where if we don't get it, he wouldn't have needed it. Okay, he get a heal. Pretty annoying, but it's still good. We are still looking at a pretty good position right now. Because if you don't run stand, the odds of us surviving next turn is still high. Okay, here it's pretty reasonable to go for plat and try to go for the Q, but there's no reason to do so. So if I don't have my PG in hand, I might have go for the plat, but because I want to go for my Ezel skill and set up 2 Interceptor, and I want a bunch of Great 1 to set up for my Platina next turn if I decide to go for it. So here we did get our 8k, which is good. I'm just gonna retire my Chrome Jailer because I want this column to have a booster. And I really want a Spirit here. Okay, like I said, I want boosters. And how many more counters do I have? So I have 2 more tries to get our Spirit. We only left 3 in our deck, but the odds of us checking is still pretty high. Okay, there we go. That's what I'm looking for, and now we can retire one of his Rearguard, and we can stop using Ezel's skill here. And since we got 2 more stands, okay, 1 more stand left, if we can check it, he will need 2 PG to survive. So always make sure to attack without boost so that your stand can really shine. And here we attack with our counter charge, and we can counter charge 1 damage, which is good for next turn. And let's see if he have any PG in his hand. Probably have 1 at least. And also another reason why I don't like to play crit is because you rush your opponent to 5 really quickly even without crit. And when your opponent is at 5, you don't really want to check crit anymore. That's why I prefer stand. So here he did survive, but can he kill us during this turn? If you don't play stand, the odds of him killing us is 0. And so far he only checked draw and heal, so it's still quite early to tell. Okay, here he did decide to call more Interceptor. And because of that, I do want to try to get more spirits, because if your opponent is at 5, there's no reason to go for your Platina Ezel right and using his skill. So even if it's a Platina Ezel deck guide, most of the time you are still going to be using your Ezel as your Vanguard. Okay, here we did survive, that's good. So now if you can just get a spirit, we will win the game because he left 1 PG. Since 3 is already out. And we only got 1 shot since we got 2 counters left. So let's see if we can get it. We didn't get it. Ooh, that's pretty bad. But if we can check a heal or a stand, we should still win. Since we have 2 interceptors. And because I don't run crit, I can afford to swing my Vanguard to his Rearguard. And this way, if he don't have PG and he's 6 damage shield, we can still counter charge 1 damage. Oh wow, we didn't check any trigger. That's super unfortunate of us. So does he have his PG here? He doesn't, and that is game. No heal, please. Alright, that's game 1 going to us, and he played crit if you notice, so pretty interesting. But like I say, crit doesn't do much when your opponent is at 5. And we got rank 13, pretty cool. Okay, we shall play maybe a few games, 1 or 2. Let's see. Okay, looks like our next opponent is gonna be a Dimensional Police. Well, I'm facing clan that I don't face normally when I play rank. Like, where are all the meta decks like Go, Aqua Force, Narukami? Where are those cards at? And look like we can superior, right? So I guess this is a fine hand to keep. I can even full mulligan. Not full mulligan, I can even keep this whole hand, but because I'm facing off against a Dimensional Police, they have crits on their Vanguard. That means I want to try to get a PG. And I did not. And I get a victory instead. So kind of a punish there, but wait a second. Is he a VP farmer? Is he a VP farmer, guys? I think he is, because that is the starter that you don't run when you're playing this clan. So let's see. If it is, I'm just gonna skip and straight away show you guys the second game, because you guys don't want to see me. Okay, he's not a VP farmer, but why does he run that starter? Interesting though. Okay, let's see what that starter is gonna do. Sadly, still no PG though, but let's hope we can get into it later on. And I'm gonna go for the superior, right? Because I want to be on an 11k base so that he don't push for more damage. And as much as I want to limit break, I don't want to take too much damage against a deck that have base crit of 2. Otherwise, I will have lose the game pretty early on if I don't have PG in my hand like that right now. And look, I'm joined to a lot of triggers, so pretty unfortunate, but it's all good. I want to call my bowman, but at the same time I don't because I want to go to 3 so I can limit break. So let's see. Yeah, I think I will save my bowman. And there's no reason to call any more weird guys because my Vanguard is perfect number against the 7k. I guess a heal is fine, but otherwise I don't really want to check any trigger here. Really check a stand, so that's a waste of stand for us. So normally during the early game you don't play around the stand. But if your stand do come, then just suck it up, if you ask me. Because since you run so little stand, the odds of you checking is pretty low. And most of the time you won't want to play around it because your stand is what wins the game on the late game and not the early game. So that's the difference between stand and crit. Crit is good during early game, but stand is good during late game. We only left 2 stand, is all good. As long as we don't check or draw any more stand. And if they stay in our deck, and when our opponent is at 5, there's a good chance we can still win. And here you check a crit. It's kind of good because now we can limit break, but at the same time it's bad because it's 2 damage and it hurts. But the good thing is they don't have any effect to retire my interceptor. That means even if I don't have PG, I can set up 2 interceptor and he pushed me to 5 and I still survive. But luckily we did join our PG. That means we can go for our limit break. But still, I still want to try to draw into another self-damager because if I set up 2 interceptor and his Vanguard is going to be 2 criticals, it's going to trigger my PG and next turn I can't limit break again. So let's go for the limit breaks first and think about it later on. So I do want to try to finish at least 1 8k vanilla. There we go. And 1 Unflipper would be nice. I really want Unflipper though. Okay, there we go. Thank you very much. So I'm gonna call it right here. And since we only left 2 stands, we can either try to play around stand or guarantee a unflip. And I honestly prefer a guarantee unflip here because counter charge in this deck is way too important. To take the risk that if your opponent check a trigger, you can counter charge. So if you want to play the correct play this turn, it's gonna be swing with your bowman, which is your 10k vanilla without boost, and then swing with your unflipper column. But if I do that, if you get a trigger, I can't counter charge. So that's why I decided to go for this play. And if I check a heal, it's going to be perfect, trust me. Because if I check a heal and his Vanguard have 2 crits, I'm going to go to 4 and I can maybe break next turn. Okay, 2 PG gone, but luckily we still got 1. But sadly, we can't limit break next turn. But if you notice, my opponent have 2 PG in his damage zone. So, pretty good. But if we manage to top deck a Chrome Jailer Dragon, we might actually ride and try to get the Spirit and finish him off next turn. Here comes the usual SP also. And here comes his Cosmo Big. Pretty weird to see him running Cosmo Big in his deck as well. Because if you watch my deck guide video for Great Dayusha, normally people don't run Cosmo Big because there's better option out there. And here, if I don't finish him off my turn next, I actually might lose because I only have 1 Interceptor in my hand. And check crit, that's fine. I got PG. Luckily we got PG because he ran crits in his freaking deck. Okay, let's see what we're gonna draw. We drew into another grade 2, that's good. That means even if he survives somehow this game, we can still win the game. So now, it will be a good time to play around your heal trigger. Not heal trigger, it will be a good time to play around your stand triggers. So let's see. I highly doubt he will survive this turn though. Okay, we get a draw. Pretty good. No PG, which is fine. As long as you don't check a crit, we should still win. And there we go. That should be game because he will need 2 heals since my other column can attack his Vanguard as well. Okay, he did check a heal. Okay, it's getting a little bit scary here. Is he gonna check another heal though? Let's see. Okay, that is game, and I kind of get why he ran it started because he ran Platina Ezel. Is that the card? Is that his name? I'm not sure. The card where he checked for his last damage, the grade 2 with the Dayusha skill. And that's 2-0 so far. Looking pretty well. if you ask me. And let me check. I guess we can go for another game since we are on the 27-minute mark or around there. So let's try to get another quick game before we end off this video because I really like playing this deck. And this is by far the deck that I play the most in the newer set. Okay, finally a legit meta deck. I mean, those two are great. Those two previous opponents, those are great clans and deck as well. But I want to face off against a really strong deck from the latest set, which is Aqua Force. And here we can superior right. So I guess I don't want to run a PG, so I kind of want to throw Bowman to try to get another great one to ride. So let's see. Okay, we did not get it, but we actually can choose not to go to superior right because I really don't want to run a PG. And since I got 2 Ezel in my hand, I am not going to go for the superior right because I don't really want to waste another draw trigger for my deck since 2 is already wasted, and if I superior right, I only left 2 draw in my deck and I don't want that. So I'm going to hold off the superior right. Not really hold off, I would not go for the superior right just because there's more cons than pros for this situation right now. And I do want to start trying to join to myself danger because like I say in every game, Ezel limit break is way too important in Go Paladin. And what I want have flew into the damage zone, which is fine, we still have 5 left in our deck. Oh, that's pretty bad, you never ever want to join your spirits. And I only left 2, so this actually could hurt us. And I'm going to take it slow because I want to take more damage. And that is another self-damager into the bottom of the deck. Not looking so good so far, and he get a draw. Looking pretty good for our opponent. And let's see what he do. Unless he decide to push us to 4 for some reason, we are in the not the greatest spot. Okay, the 10k ride is the perfect ride because it's magic number 15k column. And he's taking it slow as well, okay. As much as I want to take it slow, I really can't afford, and Jesus, that's the 3rd spirit, so that's super lucky of us that is 3 spirit on our top 10. Wow, okay, no more spirits in our deck. That's super unlucky of us, and this normally don't happen, believe it or not. This is the first time this happened to me. All 4 spirits in my deck is in my hand and my damage zone, so not the greatest situation here. Because Spirit is definitely one of your win condition because it is a combo with your Ezel. And he get another draw. Okay, I guess you're gonna win this game, I guess. So if I don't get a trigger here, the odds of us winning is like 2%. Okay, we are gonna lose this game. I'm calling it right now. No Spirit, getting draw twice, and twin drive nothing. Unless a miracle happens, we are not gonna win this game. And he got his Maelstrom right as well. So looking pretty good for him. And he got his 4th attacker. And he's probably gonna flood his bot right now. Yep. I mean, the good thing is we are going to 4 damage, but he's gonna push me to... Yeah, he's gonna push me to 4. Luckily, he don't have a booster. Otherwise, he would have pushed me to 5 damage. And if that happened, I really have no chance anymore. And sadly, Gold Paladin don't have the ability to retire back rows. Since Spirit is a skill where it only retire your opponent front row, which is grade 2 or less. For Blaster Dark Spirit and Blaster Blade Spirit is grade 2 and higher. And I'm hoping that I don't check a heal. Because I always have a bad feeling this will happen. Okay, no heal, that's good. But 1 PG though, still pretty painful to see. Okay, still got 4 heal in our deck, so as long as we track our heal, we still have a chance. And to me, Gold is a good matchup against Aqua Force because... What the heck? This is also my first time getting 4 triggers using Ezel skill. So like I was saying, I feel like Gold is a good matchup against Aqua Force because they can retire your rearguard, but you can spawn back your rearguard using Ezel's skill like nothing, so. Unless you get so unlucky like me, getting 4 triggers on my top 4 cards. Let's hope I don't eat a trigger here. Please. Okay, so do we have any trigger to return? We don't, but at least we got a spirit that we have a chance to return. So, because I have no more spirit, I'm just gonna flood my Acer skill. Okay, I will do one great ones. That is what I want. And let's see how many stands I left. I left 3 stands. So now it's a good time to play around my stand trigger. And I guess I'm calling Bowman. Okay. Counter attack, let's go. If we can get a stand, and he don't get any trigger on his next 2 check, we might have a chance. So let's see. Will our stand help us this game? A draw into Platina Ezel, okay. Into a heal is bad, but into a cross ride might come in handy next turn. If he don't have Interceptor, Platina will be great. Okay, so the time where you want to ride your Platina Ezel is when your opponent is like 4 damage, and if he have no Interceptor, because by doing so he would have need 2 PG to survive. And defensive trigger won't save him as well. So let's see, he should have Interceptor because his hand is huge, as you can see. Yep, he got a Basil, and the Basil can hit my grade 2, so he has 2 Interceptors, so that's pretty bad. And we didn't get any trigger, which is fine because getting a trigger there or not, it's not going to make any difference. Besides a heal trigger, I would love to get a heal, but it's alright. And as you can see, and if you have tell by already, most of my games I don't really ride Platina Ezel, it's just there. But there'll be time you're going to ride it, but sadly, I guess I'm be showing it in this deck guide video, but I actually might ride it on my turn next. And luckily he can't heal, otherwise we will really have no chance if you go to 3 damage. Okay, so now there's one way to win, and is if my opponent don't have PG, and if he have a PG, if I check double stand, I can win as well. So let's see. Oh my god, I just said I need double stand, I drew a stand. Okay, so this game I'm just super unlucky, so I'm just gonna take this loss, but I think I'm going for the cross strike. Let me think. Because cross strike is really good against Aqua Force because they can't attack using their Diamantis or their Basil. So yeah, Platina Ezel is my right. Sadly, I only have 1 grade 2. There we go. Our first Platina Ezel of the day. So I'm gonna call my Spirit and my Blond Ezel, or should I call my Chrome Jailer? I think I'll call my Chrome Jailer because if we somehow survive, we can still use Ezel on our next turn if we want to. So we're gonna go for ultimate break here. So let's see whether if he has his PG or not. But checking double stand is not realistic to be honest, but there is still a chance though. But pretty sure I'm not gonna check it. A draw, I need a PG. Okay, that is not PG, so unless we check a heal. Okay, no heal as well. Pretty yikes. And he have a PG, so I guess this game is our loss. Unless we check heal trigger, which we left 3, so there's still a high chance of that happening. Okay, now we need double heal because of this gory Maelstrom. Even though we have the grade 3 in our hand, but we have no PG, so good games, good games. Okay, I'm really hoping that he attack with his Gory Maelstrom first, because if he attack with his Rearguard to my Vanguard, I will have need 3 heal instead of 2, which I think is the right play. Why will you do that? That is a misplay for sure. Can we get a double heal to punish his misplay? Highly doubt so, but let's see. Okay, no heal trigger, sadly. And I guess I'll be sending on this video here. So same as always, I do hope you guys learned quite a bit from my that guy video, especially the cards that we just received from set 8. And same as always, do make sure to leave a comment down below letting me know how you feel about Platina Ezel or even Chrome Jailer Dragon in general, and of course, Spirit is OP. Leave a comment down below whether you agree or not with me. And yeah, this should be it. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for next video. Goodbye.